Hi everyone, my name's Laura and this is my channel So Very Laura. So today I'm back to talk about what I'm going to make for two challenges that are running in October. So the first of those is the Busy Bee challenge, which, as you know, we took part in September, being the first month, and we all made a free pattern from Marilla Walker. And the second month, in the same way as the second challenge is an upcycling challenge in the Sewing Bee, we have an upcycling challenge to do for the month of October. But I'm also combining this with the Sew Upcycle 25, which is being run by the lovely Karen from So Little Time and the equally lovely Becky at Notes from the Sewing Room. So let me just quickly run through what the outlines are for each of the challenges in turn, and then we'll get into looking at what my options are for this. So for the Busy Bee challenge, it's Sam Sequin Gurley, who set the challenge, has deliberately kept it fairly broad. So our challenge is to take a piece of fabric that we are upcycling, so not something that is just basically plain fabric, and to create something that gives you autumn vibes. That doesn't have to be a garment. There's no restriction on what it could be. It could be something for the house. It doesn't have to be sewing. So, for example, if you're so inclined, you might choose to knit or crochet decorative pumpkins, because, as we all know, it's Halloween at the end of the month. So there are no restrictions on what we can do for that challenge, and we will reveal our makes on the final Wednesday of October, which I believe is the 29th of October. But I'm also going to combine this, as I think quite a few of the Busy Bees are, with the Sew Upcycle challenge by, as I said, Karen and Becky. So apologies for looking down. I am just looking to locate the rules of the challenge, which I've got on my phone, because I don't want to mislead you. And this vlog is going out on the, well, you'll know because you're watching it, but the 4th of October, so it's still pretty early in the month, so I thought I'd run through the rules. So the challenge is entitled #SewUpcycle25, and it's an Instagram challenge. So if you want to enter, you need to make sure that your account is public so that you can Karen and Becky can see your photographs. So the rules are that you have to make a garment or a bag for yourself or for someone else. So for this challenge, I can't make anything like a house ornament or anything like that. It has to be a garment or a bag, which is fine. Because my house has got tons of stuff in it at the minute, which needs clearing through, I think. So that's fine. You can't make anything for a pet, so it has to be for a human. Examples of what you could use are a tablecloth or a curtain or a bedspread, a make that you've made but you don't particularly like it anymore, or a ready-to-wear piece of clothing that you're not wearing and you want to turn into something else, or you're allowed to buy something new if it comes from a charity shop, so or if a friend or family member gives you something, but you can't use fabric scraps because they're just pieces of things that started life as fabric. So it's the same rule as for Busy Bee, in that it has to be something that started life as an object, as something else. If you want to post on Instagram any sneak peeks of what you're up to, then use the hashtag SewUpcycle25WHIP. So I'll post your make on the 31st of October, and you need to include a photograph of what you used to make your garment before you chopped it up. So a before photograph to show that it was a previous object, and reveal your make on the 31st of October on Instagram using hashtag SewUpCycle25 and tag Becky, who is Notes from the Sewing Room, and Karen, who is So Little Time, and I'll pop all those details in the description down below. But that is the basic rules. So huge thank you to Sam Sequin Gurley for setting up the Busy Bee Challenge, and also huge thank you to Karen and Becky for setting up Sew Up Cycle 25. I know they've been running this challenge for quite a few years. I've participated in it before, and I'm really happy to be part of the vlogger tour. So shall we have a look and see what my options are for these challenges? So I have to make a garment or bag if I am going to enter the challenge for Sew Up Cycle. And as I said, that would be my preference anyway. So I've got 3 sources of fabric to show you, 2 of which I have got thoughts of what I might make, and the third I would be interested in hearing your suggestions. So let's start with the first one. So the first one is basically a whole stack of bedding that I've got. And I should say that in most cases, really, I've been inspired by the colours of the fabric in these objects. So they're kind of giving me the kind of all the autumn feels, really. It's that, other than one of them, it's that more than the thickness of the fabric. So the first one is bed sheets. Now, I do apologise for these. They need a bit of a going over with a lint roller because they've obviously been sat somewhere and one of the cats has sat on them, I think. And there's nothing wrong with these bed sheets except that I'll show you one of them. This is the one that's giving me quite a lot of autumn feels. You can see it's this kind of deep burgundy colour. But you'll see they are fitted bed sheets, and the elastic's gone in them, and frankly they never fitted. They just fell off all the time. And we have now got some bed sheets from a company called Rise and Fall, which are super deep and they don't fall off. So if anybody wants the details of those, DM me on Instagram and I'll let you have the details. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with the fabric. So these are all either king or double. I think they're probably king on the whole. So I have this colour, and then I have, this colour, kind of slightly lighter burgundy. So I think they go quite nicely together. And then I've also got some other bits and pieces, some of which you will have seen before. So I don't know how many of them I would actually use. So you'll have seen this fabric before. So this is actually a pillowcase, but I bought a whole set of pillowcases and a king size duvet cover from the British Heart Foundation, and you will have seen that I use this to make my lantern top. So I'll pop a pic of that in here. So I've got at least 2 pillowcases left and quite a lot of the duvet cover. So there we go. So hopefully somewhere I've still got the press studs so that I can prove that it was a duvet cover. And then I've got another one, which is a king size duvet. And I've cut into this already, you'll see, because when I made my, what do you call it, block for trousers using the Sew Over It Stitch School, and I'll link my vlog where I did that down below. I used the flowered side of this to make my body block, but you'll see this is a king size duvet cover from which I got from the RSPCA for the princely sum of £3.50, and it does have this kind of dusky pink side. So again, I thought that might go quite nicely with that. So I need to play around with the colours, but in terms of what I would like to make, you know that I love a shirt, and I've got this pattern which is by Liesel & Co, and it is the recital shirt, so hopefully you can see that. And the reason I thought this would work so well is because it is princess themed. So I wouldn't be trying to do the pin tucks, I'd be doing the plain one. And therefore, because it's got the princess seams, I thought that it would be great to do colour blocking so that I could get in at least 2 of the colours of the bedding and really kind of make it a bit of a statement piece, as well as actually being a bit of a wearable toile, because I've not made this before. And I'd really like to make it in some better fabric. So really this would address both of those, because it would be a wearable toile, but it does also qualify for both challenges. And I think it could be really quite effective with the colour blocking. And obviously cotton as fabric is fine. So it says on the suggested fabrics, suitable for a variety of light to medium weight woven fabrics, including quilting cotton, voile, lawn, shirting, poplin, broadcloth, chambray and linen. And so, you know, this is a reasonable weight cotton, so I think it would be fine. So the good thing about this is it has different size cups in the pattern, so I should be able to get a pretty good fit on that. Downside of doing this is I'm going to have to trace the pattern because I've got paper version, so yeah, but I think I'd quite like to do that. I do enjoy making shirts, and it's a bit different with the princess seams, so I think that might be quite a fun option. But let me know in the comments what you think, and if you think that would work well. I'm really interested to hear what you think, and I'm also really interested to hear if you are joining us in the Busy Bee Challenge, which is just for fun, but you know, Sam has suggested that people might like to join in. So if you're joining in, let me know. And also if you're joining in with Sew Up Cycle 25, and I will make sure to link both Karen and Becky's channels down below, because they will be doing vlogs with more information in, I'm sure. So that is the first of my options. So making the Liesl shirt, the recital shirt in bedding. So let's move on to my second option. And those of you who've been following me for a little while will know that a kind neighbour gave me a whole lot of fabric about maybe 4 years ago. And a lot of that is fabric that she had used for previous purposes. So I've already made my husband a Doctor Who themed shirt out of what we think was a curtain, so I'll put a picture in of that. And then also in there was a lot of this, so you can see it's this kind of quite fun fabric with palm trees and elephants and various buildings and a guy holding a lyre. And somebody else on a horse, and I just thought it was really fun, this, and I'm pretty sure that these were curtains. They don't have curtain hook tape on the back, but if you can see there, it's been hemmed, so there's the hem on the other side, and there's a hole there, so I'm pretty sure that's where a curtain pole went through. You can see it goes right through. So this again is cotton. It's a bit heavier, I would say. It's almost like a twill, but it's definitely heavy. It's certainly quilting cotton weight or heavier. And I have got a load of this because I pulled it out from the cupboard behind me, and I found 2 of them and I put them in the wash, and then I went back to the bag I'd got them out of and found a load more. So I can definitely make more than one item with all this fabric at some point. So I do have some ideas as to what I could do with these. I thought I might make dungarees. So my choices are, I've got the Life So Savoury pattern, which is a free pattern which I've made before in a kind of holiday weight denim. So I'll put a picture of me wearing those up here. So I could make those again. I might make them a bit bigger because this is a bit more of a rigid fabric. So I might just either go up a size or just make them a bit wider. So that's one alternative. I do own the Tilly and the Buttons Myla dungarees, but they're really narrow. And I could try and widen those out and maybe sort of do a mashup of those two. But I do keep eyeing up a couple of other patterns for dungarees. So I will put pictures in and mention these now. So I'm just looking for my phone, which has got lost. Oh, there it is. And the ones I was thinking of were either one called Below the, I'm probably going to murder this, so I do apologise, Kohai Tipa dungarees, which are kind of a loosish style dungaree. Maybe with they don't have buttons on the side. And in a way, I don't mind that. So that's one option. And the other ones that I do really, really want to make, and I want to make with some Cobra corsage fabric at some point, are the True Bias Riley dungarees. So that's my other alternative. So again, there'd be something of the wearable toile in this. So let me know what you think. The other alternatives, I thought about making a bag, but I think really if I made a bag, I probably wouldn't be doing it in the spirit of the challenge, because to make the bag I would want to make, which is the Get Out of Town 2.1 small duffel bag, which is a by Annie pattern, I'll pop the details down below, I would need a lot of other materials. So I'd need a lining fabric, and I'd need a contrast fabric for the outside of the bag. And I can't in all conscience do that with the fabrics that I've got here, unless I just make the whole lot the same colour, and I'm not sure I'd want to do it. So you may see a bag out of this at some point, but it won't be for this challenge. My other alternative, and actually I think this would work really well because it would show the fabric off, is a Prima pattern. This was a pattern from January 2024, and it's a shacket. And I think that is really quite fun. And I quite like the idea of making the longer version. But if I show you the line drawings, the longer version has actually got a ton of pockets on it. And the shorter version just has pockets at the hip. So I think if I did it, I'd do the longer version, but I would only put the pockets in at the hip, and I probably wouldn't do the folds on the pockets. Much as I think they're lovely, I think they just get lost in this pattern. So that is another alternative, and I am sure I've got enough fabric to make that. And I think that would be probably a relatively simple make, certainly easier than dungarees. And then finally, and very quickly, because my husband just came in, I'll have edited him out because we've got a date afternoon today. It's actually Sunday the 28th of September, and we are going out for lunch, and then we're going to see Susie Dent in Monmouth. She's the lady who does Dictionary Corner on Countdown. So my last option, but probably the least likely, is to do something out of this, which is a textured throw, and it measures approximately 150 centimetres, so kind of normal fabric width wide, by 190 centimetres, and it says it's a Debenhams home accessory. And I found this in my mum's house, and I don't think it's ever been used. I don't know whether she bought it as a present, whether she bought it for herself and never used it. So it is rather nice. It's this beautiful, let me pull it out, sorry for the crinkling. It's not that heavy. It's got these lovely tassels on it. It's not stretchy, but it's not that thick either. So I do think there might be an argument for using this at some point, maybe to make some kind of short cape. I thought of the waterfall cape by Sew Over It, which is in one of the ebooks, and I'll pop the details down below. But I don't think I've got enough of it, sadly. And the other one I'd thought about was the Pona jacket by Helen's Closet. But my fear is that I'm not sure it's actually thick enough, because it is quite see-through. It might work, or it might work as a kind of very loose cardigan. I suspect I could use a stretch pattern for this and size up. So that might be another alternative. Let me know what you think. The other thing I would say is that I do love it. And I think ultimately it will become an item of clothing because I think I'm more likely to use it like that. But I don't know if I'm ready to cut it up yet. But I've got it here as an option. So that's it from me. If you've enjoyed this vlog, please consider subscribing if you're not already a subscriber, and follow along with my adventures. And please consider giving me a like and let me know what you would make with my fabrics, and also if you're participating in either of these challenges. And I'll catch you all again very soon. Bye for now.